Thank you all for coming. Um, uh, Today, the talk is going to be Africa. Just a quick disclaimer here. It's not really a fact-based, like 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. It's more like this is what it is right now. And if you're interested, we can go to this direction kind of talk, okay? So my name is Tsagga Selassie Tadesse. I know, kind of hard. But for short, you can call me Tsagga. I'm a front-end developer at Accelerant, and that's my Twitter handle. Before we get started, because like I said, it's more of a lighthearted talk than a fact-based one, I have a few trivia questions that will get you some really nice Ethiopian coffee if you get to answer them. So whoever gets it first, gets the coffee. All right. First question. Africa is the second largest country in the world. Thank you. All right. Which one is Ethiopia? Middle one. You have one. Okay. Yeah. Which one is different? It's a trick question, so think about it. Fair enough. That's not the answer. I can go for that. But the thing is, they're all Africans, so they're all the same kind of thing. Okay. Trick question. All right. So I'm happy to say that all 45 countries in Africa, which is a continent, have Drupal users on Drupal.org. Obviously, the leading country here is South Africa. So the blue bar is people on Drupal.org, and the purple one is people on the group's website. So you can see for Nigeria and South Africa, there are a good number of people out there, and starts shrinking as you go down quite rapidly. And what I've noticed is there's a direct relationship between people in Drupal.org and the people in the groups, because stronger groups allow people to move there as well, and they keep the discussion going there. Another observation about the groups is the more admins there are, the more people there are. That is, if it's just one person, it usually dies off. And getting more people involved, more people in the planning and administering of groups, you get more people to attend. Another fact, the youngest nation in the world, South Sudan, has 17 Drupal users. And I've had the chance to build one site for them. It was for their statistics agency, and they're quite good. Another observation, Central African Republic has the 4th largest community, but I couldn't find anybody from there. They have no group. There are like 3,000 users there, but nobody's to be found. Just to put things into perspective, there are over 2 million users on Drupal.org, out of which are 25% are Africans. That's not a good sign for me, because if you just take the population of the world, we're like 16%, but on Drupal we're even less than 5%, 3%. So that's something to work on, something to aspire to get more people involved. There have been a few success stories. Obviously, there have been a lot of websites built by Drupal companies in Africa, for Africa, but I just found a few that might be interesting and might be indicative of the kind of success Drupal has. So this is the website for the African Union. So that's like the European Union, and it's one of the biggest international bodies in Africa. So everybody in Africa is using the website here. The other is the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA. They've been using Drupal since version 6, I believe, and they have a lot of stuff, research repository, a lot of their intranet, everything is done by using Drupal, and a few other systems as well. Another area where Drupal is really strong is in the research and training areas. So I worked at a research institute, and these were one of the related affiliated sites that I came across with. So one is for animal genetics training. So it's a training website. It has everything about animals and genetics information. The other is about breeding plants, things like that. So they're more research heavy, these ones. And the other ones, the next one is the government of South Africa. So like we've seen previously on the first slide, South African group is strong, and they actually have their government website in Drupal. And also the National Research Foundation. So again, a research institute website that they have. One from Egypt is the British Council. Apparently the British Council uses Drupal a lot. In almost every country I've checked, they have Drupal, which makes sense really. And then there are some universities, higher education institutes like the Northwest University in South Africa. This one here was something I was involved in. It's the Ethiopian Tourism Organization. Their entire website is uses Drupal, and they have been getting a good amount of traffic since then. The next one is from Algeria. That's the. My French is not good. David, would you help me? Yeah. So it looks like Algeria has a good number of government websites, similar websites done with Drupal as well. Some of the websites I found on Top Drops. So this was built by a South African. Yeah, he correlated data from Alexa.org and the different websites that are made by Drupal, and has a ranking and everything. So it's interesting. You can see it. Some of the community people that have been serving their local community. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is the list of people I could find and I could reach out to and I can talk. I could. So from Egypt is Ahmed. He's a technical architect. He's the group admin for the Egypt local community. The next one is Salah, not Mohammed Salah, but Salah. So he does a lot of work in Tunisia, Morocco, and I've seen his work going around and around in the different groups. These two They were able to, they're from Uganda, Solomon and Benjamin. They've been able to do Drupal global training days in Uganda several times. They're quite strong on community work, and Uganda has a good, compared to its size, Uganda has a good community number of people. And they are still active, and we communicate, and they're planning to do collaborations with other African Drupal groups. And the next guy, Bikino, he's also, I think he's the only person I've ever heard who announced a Drupal meetup and got more people than he expected. He was planning for 50. I think 150 or something like that showed up. So he had to, like do another session for the rest. So he's been quite successful. Of course, Rwanda is very strong in IT and software. They're doing very well. I've also had the chance to talk to him. So he's still active and still doing some work. The next guy, Ryan, is a consultant from South Africa. He has done a lot of work. He has a few things showing up, and my main source of information has always been the Drupal.org or the groups site, so I didn't go any other place. So he's been active and been doing a lot of work, including that website for Top Drops. The other guy, yeah, you know him? Yeah, he's active in West Africa, yeah, Senegal. He's reached out to me previously. Yeah, he's French as well, yeah, true. And I know a few people who have worked with him, and they say, he's been doing a lot of good in their community for them. There you go. And I believe the last guy is from Nigeria. He's the group organizer again. He's done a few things for the Nigerian community. He's been doing, they have actually a number of people, and they have he's just, like a representative of that group, really. And I'm trying to do a list of active people, and I'll share this link, and when these slides are shared, I'll add everybody I know onto this list so we can have a better communication. One thing I've noticed is the group's website is not very active, and some of the posts are quite dated. And of course, after attending some of the community-related talks, there's a consensus that we need a more active engagement or a platform that's usable for everybody. So I would be able to share that there as well. So there are a lot of Drupal businesses, businesses that do work in Africa. One is Amazing. They have an office in South Africa. JSI is a research institute. They do a lot of research and training kind of thing. They're almost everywhere in Africa, northeast, everywhere. These people, I'm sure you know them. They're always there somewhere. So yeah, no introductions for them. And these are a couple of South African companies. They're doing good. They have a good portfolio. This one is unique. They do Drupal plus hardware stuff. They're from Nigeria. That one is also a South African company. Bardot is also I believe in North Africa, somewhere there. And that one is a South African company. If you haven't seen this sign, they're just outside, and they're also hiring. if you know anybody who's interested, and Lush is just a magazine company South Africa. They just use Drupal. There are more businesses you can see from the Drupal.org organization's link. Some of the challenges. I had a survey out. I didn't get that many people to respond, obviously, because I was going from the Drupal.org site, and most people may not have wired their accounts to send emails. But from what I gathered, the first question was, what are the most prominent obstacles? As you can see, number one is awareness. So people don't know what Drupal is, what they can do with it. Second one is professionals. So it's hard to find people, and it's true. We have several projects, but finding people is a very difficult problem, and I see that it's everywhere. The other 2 points were the projects and the viability. So most people feel that there are projects, but not enough. And for viability, they think Drupal is a good option, it's a viable option, but yeah, it's still an issue. So major issues for not forming a local Drupal community is the user base. That's an issue. Leadership, so people might have started the group, but they're not there anymore. And then the open source, understanding and the community ethos there, and commitment is always an issue everywhere, obviously, and funding to sustain the regular meetings. So some points to ponder before I close. So one is perception. This is a quote from Michael Jordan. He says, "Hang time is a perception. It's like an oasis in the desert." So it's just to highlight the point where Africa has a perception problem that Africans may not be as good as other people, as other people in other parts of the world. But people who respond as they agree that sometimes even when they have the skills, they are they are offered lesser roles and things like that. The other is people in Africa should be involved in their communities, and 100% agree. But the problem is nobody shows up for the real work. Yeah. This is a point, I mean, this seems obvious for most people who have done Drupal. That is, the Drupal community should be inclusive, democratic, and open, but not most people agree. Some people think, you should just own it like it was your own car or something. And that's also a perception issue, and that's something we need to work on as a community. And the last point here is the ecosystem, or is the interrelation between communities, is it there, or should we have that? And most people agree. I think I have one last point, yes. Is the situation, the work, the people, the infrastructure, is sustainable for Drupal development? And most people agree, and I do agree as well. There are plenty of jobs, plenty of things coming up, even though we are still lagging behind. There's plenty of work out there. The potential market, just a quick, this is not really based on hardcore research, but from observation. Government is number one. They pay a lot of money to do a lot of portal work. So this is something we can venture on and we can do more research on. If people are interested, I could do some digging here. The other is travel and tourism. This is huge. It's a big market. A lot of African countries have a huge potential, and it's one of the competitive markets to get attraction from foreigners. So they want to show themselves as being available and professional. So most people want this travel websites with all sorts of features. The other is higher education. Education has been a major focus for African countries. They do a lot of work, and Ethiopia is actually spending a lot of money in education next year, and some of it will trickle down to IT systems and web portals and infrastructure, things like that. So if there are any questions, I'm way past my time. And if you're interested, we can take it outside. I'm happy that you came. Please feel free to ask at least one or two questions, if any.